listening to Kevin and the Spleen.
No one's gonna ever love me.
1098.5 Radio QWX for quick.
Bussin', no cap.
No cap.
Really smack you in the ass with flavor. There you go. This show is about depression, anxiety, PTSD, and chronic illness.
We going quick. We're trying to keep you on the path to the ride home on the evening time.
It's a fucking zoo.
Make it Quicks with the Quicks Radio.
White lives do not matter.
Hey, kids, what's up? It's Kevin and the Spleen, and we got Kevin here today. Kevin, you notice anything different about me? Beep, beep, oh yeah.
You do... Did you change your beard?
Nope, beep, beep. I did not change my beard. That's right, folks. That's not different at all. And if you see my beard and think it's different, no, it isn't. Beep, beep. Oh yeah.
Okay, then no, I'm stumped here. What's different?
I ate a car.
Okay. I was feeling bad for a second there. Okay, you ate a car.
Beep, beep. Oh yeah, I ate a car.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yes. So I was walking home the other night, back home to it's not the colostomy bag as we know it, baby. After that HR incident, you know we kicked out of the stomach. Haha. Oh yeah, beep beep. I was walking home to the colostomy bag, and I hear a sound coming behind me, beep, beep. It was kind of like it was a sound of wheels, baby. Oh, yeah. And I just assume, it's not a big deal. There's cars all the time. I'm walking in the street, cars stay on the sidewalk. No big deal, right? It should all be safe. Everything should be fine. Come to find out, I'm being hit by a car, baby. Oh, no. Oh, baby. And I got 3 of my discs bulging. That's right. Flew flat on my face and then spun around while I was on my face until I got several spiraling scars on my nose and cheeks, baby. Oh, yeah. And I'm talking about ass cheeks, even though I was on my face. So I flip around, try and crawl into a gutter, And,
as you do.
As I do, and I flop onto my back, just catch my breath a little bit. Oh, yeah. And what do I see, Kevin?
What do you see?
It was a full moon. Do you know what that means?
No. I have no idea where you're taking this, but please continue.
It means I didn't just get hit by a car. I got bit by a car, baby. Oh, yeah. That's right, baby. And then I started changing. Like, what's that guy's name? Action Boy or something? What's the guy that turns into a car?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yes, Action Boy.
Action Lad. I don't think that's right. Boy who turns everything to chocolate. No.
I do it.
Boy who turns into
Jared Leto. No, that's not.
This is boy who turns into a mermaid movie. I mean, yeah, he turns into a mermaid in the movie. I thought he turned into a film about mermaids. Turbo Teen. Yes. There we go. Action Lad, Turbo Teen. You get it. So I start changing into a car, and man, this was no ordinary wear car. This was a car with a hunger for other cars. Next thing you know, I'm chomping down on a Honda Civic. Beep, beep. And I ate a car. And boy, do I have to go to the doctor. And not just for the multiple obvious reasons you might be able to assume based on this conversation. But because I ate a car, Kevin.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how much of this is accurate and how much of this is a bit, and I cannot tell. This is amazing.
That's poison, Kevin. A car is basically made entirely of poison. The thing about poison is you could make a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to eat out of poison because you're not supposed to eat it. It's fine, you know?
Right.
But once you decide to start eating things that are made of poison, that's when you got to go to a doctor. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I sound like this now. This is my wear car voice.
Okay. Well, what kind of changes do you notice being a wear car? Like, do you thirst for unleaded or?
Yeah, no, diesel. I thirst for diesel. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I go plug in at the old Tesla superchargers.
Yeah.
You know, so it's unclear what kind of car I am. Go ahead, Kevin.
You're a hybrid.
I don't know. I'm very upset. I know that. Did you know cars are pissed? You never want to think about it, but cars are pissed all the time, Kevin.
What? Why?
I don't know. I just turned into a car and I'm pissed all of a sudden. It's nuts. You ever heard of
do you think maybe
rage?
that's just you got hit, not because you're a car?
No, I think this is the natural state of a car's mindset. Did you know cars have a mindset and it's pissed?
I didn't. That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. So, you know, every night during the full moon, which happens many nights in a row, I start to notice the change come over me. There's fur that sprouts from my bodies, but this isn't fur, Kevin. This is chrome. I have a craving for wax, to be waxed. And most places like that, they're not open at night.
No, they're not.
I'm breaking into auto zones.
Okay. Like, do you feel yourself like transitioning to like rich Corinthian leather and plush interiors kind of thing, or are you more of a hot rod? Or
yeah, my stomach is plush as shit, and my spleen, and I am the spleen, but my spleen is made out of 100% Romanian leather. It's like you can make a fucking handbag out of that shit, and I will. I plan to.
Okay. Well, when you die, I will make sure that dying wish of yours is executed, and we make a handbag from your spleen.
Yeah, I just gotta go fight a vampire tricycle pretty soon here. That's like part of what we do. Where cars are part of this unholy alliance with Frankentrains.
Okay. There's so much lore I had no idea existed.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest lore drops we've ever had on the show.
Wow. I have so many questions. Is this permanent, do you think? Is there a cure?
There's a cure, all right. This is from something. I don't know what this sounds like. It's from Futurama or something, but you gotta plug my tailpipe with a silver potato, Kevin.
A silver potato.
That's the only way to undo the dangerous disease of lycanthropy. Lycarprothry. Lycarprothry, Kevin. I'm a lycanthrope.
Okay, I was just trying to figure out how to spell that to my list of titles there. That's got to be the title.
Lycarprothry. Oh boy. Okay. I feel like I had one other thing that was happening to me when I was a car. I killed a cop, Kevin.
Wow, that really was burying the lead there.
Yeah.
Was that part of the accident, or did you just spontaneously do this?
I was gonna get a speeding ticket, but I decided to kill the cop.
Okay.
That's another thing. That's another thing, Kevin. A silver parking ticket, I think, will cure me as well.
A silver parking ticket. Maybe you should have kept that part of the story to yourself, because I feel like that might get you into some trouble now.
Are you kidding me? I'm telling everyone. I killed a cop.
Okay, well, I will defend you and avenge your death, I guess.
I won't die. I'll never die. That's the one thing you could be sure of, Kevin. And you, the listening audience. I will never die. The spleen lives together. The spleen lives together. That's right, folks. Did you know the spleen is the only organ in your entire body that even if you have one cell remaining, it'll entirely regenerate good as new?
Is that true?
That's absolutely 100% verifiably. Try it at home. Legally binding. True. Yes.
Okay. Well, we have a science experiment between this show and next week then.
Mm-hmm. And my spleen's made of leather, so I think we'll be rich.
We have an unlimited source of rich Romanian leather.
Yeah, Romanian leather, the best kind, as we all know.
That's the only place I shop for leather these days is Romania.
The Maserati of leather. Maseratis have Romanian leather seats.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Weird, wild stuff, Kevin. Hey, someone should say that on like a show. That's like a great catchphrase for someone to have.
That is.
Man, I'm dizzy.
You've got the energy of what was the skeleton on Craig Ferguson? Jeff, the skeleton? You've got that kind of vibe going tonight.
I got that Jeff vibe going on.
Yeah.
Jeff the skeleton. Jeff the land shark. Okay. Jeff Dunham, skeleton. That's a different skeleton.
Yeah.
Jeff Peterson. This is a good idea. A robot skeleton.
People named Jeff?
Yeah. Did you know Grant Imahara designed and built Jeff Peterson? Grant Imahara.
That's a crazy little factoid about him. Yeah.
The famous Mythbuster.
Yeah.
He volunteered to create the robot if Craig Ferguson could get him to 100,000 Twitter followers, which he achieved in 24 hours.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You know, Grant Imahara is dead.
Yeah, that.
What do you miss?
I have trouble accepting that for some reason.
That's weird, Kevin. Get over it. What are you sad about? Or what do you have drawing? What are you sad about? The show.
I'm sad about that too, but I'm also sad that that felt like to me like the last great late night talk show.
I never watched talk shows.
Well, it just felt like, you know, he was just hanging out with friends. Like it didn't feel like a TV show. It just felt like you were just sitting in a conversation, you know?
Mm. Man, this show would probably be way better if I had ever watched talk shows.
Well, I don't know. This is sort of outsider art, I think.
Yeah. There's not a lot of media hosts that are wear cars, I'll tell you that much.
No. This is probably the first I've heard of.
Mm-hmm. You know, Kevin, you know who the greatest enemy of the wear car and alliance is?
The EPA?
No. The EPA has no jurisdiction over mythological creature machines.
Okay. Who's the greatest enemy of the wear car?
Van Helsing. Yeah.
That's so bad.
No, it's really good. It's completely organic. You don't even have to change the name to a pun. It just works.
It does. Oh, okay. Yeah, that does work. That really does work. Okay.
That makes it definitionally a good joke. A very good joke. Oh, I sound like a fucking Muppet. Like a fucked up Statler and Waldorf who's like more normal, you know?
Yeah, you kind of sound like, I don't know, the mix like between Alf if he was voiced by Frank Oz.
Yeah. If he was like a used car salesman.
Yes.
Where was this in improv class when I was taking improv class, you know? This is
I don't know where you're pulling this out from tonight, but I love this.
Yeah, that's good. What's up, Kevin?
I got hit by a car once in Winnipeg, a police car.
What
It was
happened?
I was crossing the street. I had the little walking thing. I start to walk, and a police car at a very slow speed hits me just sort of hard enough to like knock me over because I was just more out of shock than force.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the nicest experience I've ever had. They were so polite. I got an email later from the mayor of Winnipeg apologizing and hoping I would come back and return to his city and that it wasn't going to affect my view of Winnipeg. And the police officer apologized and they took me to the hospital. And even though I said I was fine, overall it was probably the most memorable thing that happened to me in Canada.
I'd imagine so. When did that happen?
Oh, this was back in the 90s, like late 90s.
Cops were hitting everybody back then.
Yeah, and I guess when they become the 51st state, they're going to become a little bit more, LAPD than that. But we'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is the first podcast where we're not really talking about anything, specific since all this shit happened. And boy, has all this shit happened.
Yeah.
But one of many things that I don't like, and I'm not saying don't be alarmist, by all means, be as alarmist as possible. But I think there's a lot of people that are just like saying like, oh, shit's all crazy. And shit is all crazy. But like, I don't know. Like, there's like some Canadian person on TikTok being like, you guys don't understand. Canada's actively preparing for war because they think they're going to get invaded. And like, I don't know if that's true or not, but like, I mean, well, I don't know how valuable it is for this person to go on TikTok and being like, you don't understand. Canada's like rallying their military together right now as we speak. It's like, okay, what are we supposed to do about that? Like, America either is or isn't going to do something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to put it again. Like, I'm not going to say like, oh, no one's going to like start crazy wars against insane people or like just for insane reasons. I absolutely think that's on the table. But I just like, if I were Canada, I don't know that right now I would be preparing for war. I feel like there's going to be more shoes to drop first. I think there'll be more signs. And if it'll take that long for like Canada to prep its military, that they need to really start preparing now so that when like shoe 1 of 7 shoes finally starts to drop, with the 7th shoe being like actual military action, like if it's going to take you that long to like prep your military, maybe just don't. Maybe just like be like, maybe someone else can help us out or something. Like, let's talk to a different country and see if their army. I don't know. And again, I don't know what they mean by that when they're saying prepping. But it's just some fucking person talking about it. And like, I don't know. I think what's his face? Trudeau, is he even still in power? I think he was saying like, oh, we're taking this very seriously. Which yeah, take it very seriously. Don't get me wrong. Trade war, diplomatic stuff, talking to other allies, all that stuff. But just like right now, like prepping the military, I don't know. It's insane we're even talking about it. You hear that Trump wanted to rename Greenland to Red, White, and Blue Land? Is that real? You can't even tell if anything's real anymore.
I've given up trying to tell what's real and what isn't. I honestly just feel like this is just so much nonsense being peddled that you can't. It's distracting from what else is going on.
Yeah.
Like there's no way the U.S. is going to like. It's not just going to be like, oh, you're the 51st state. That would be like an invasion of another country, right, which would trigger NATO. Which would. Well,
that's the thing. Like, but I mean, would it? Like, I mean, I know it would, but like, is NATO going to be like, oh no, like I don't know, the NATO's going to be like, let's go to war with fucking America. But I mean, they should. Don't get me wrong. All this stuff should happen. I just like we're seeing that. No one actually does anything. Canada's one of the people that's done the absolute most with taking products off shelves. I don't even know, like, there's been the tariffs. I don't even know if there's been counter tariffs yet, like, or like they've actually kept those up. I don't know. It's hard to even track what's happening with the tariffs. Did the aluminum and steel tariffs start up yet?
Yes, and a lot of the Chinese import tariffs have.
Right. I know those ones have. I know the Canada and Mexico ones have been like in and out and in and out constantly.
Yes.
Which that's good. But then you go back to the fact that they were like, oh, we're going to have to crash the economy. And it's just like, so, none of this it's all for nonsense. Like, I just like, again, like, if you want it to be crazy, there's better, simpler ways to be crazy than what they're doing. They're just doing it so badly. The headline, and I don't even know if this is still true because Elon fucking hates OpenAI, but like, this was like before a lot of the Doge shit started popping off, which for fuck's sake, kill me. But I saw a headline that was like, OpenAI secured a cybersecurity contract to protect the nuclear secrets, which is like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like,
that doesn't even make sense. In
what world does like putting, like I talked on, I've had to use like website support. And they replaced those, people you talk to in the chat room with like ChatGPT and whatever. And it's like, well, it's not like the nuclear secrets are like customer help and they're going to replace it with ChatGPT. And so instead of like logging in, you'll say like, hello, Reeves, can you give me the nuclear secrets? And it's like, absolutely. The nuclear codes for this is this. Like, that's not what I like. What are they doing? I don't even think OpenAI, it's not like they don't have cybersecurity, but they're not like a cybersecurity company, like, I mean, obviously all this shit, to the extent that it's even real, is just excuses to hand money, to everyone else. I don't know. This is something I've been saying for a long time, but I think a lot of this stuff that they're doing, a lot of investment, like sociologically, and this is like a larger picture thing that it is just government and fascism and stuff. I think they're like inventing places to put money because they need a reason not to give it to people. Like if you're investing in crypto and in AI and stuff, you're giving it back to the rich. You're like trading money around. And if you don't keep coming up with reasons to trade money around, suddenly you actually have to give it to a poor person. So I think like there's an extent to which a lot of these entities just like have this deep-seated need to like spend money in ways where it won't ever go to anybody, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't really fleshed that out yet, but I think it's true. Go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I think they're reaching this end game though, where it's like things are so disproportionate that nobody has any money to spend on the things that these companies want to sell you. So like it's all going to become this like house of cards that's going to just collapse. Where the tiniest percentage have 99% of the wealth, and nobody
that already
else has
is
any
the
money.
case,
right? But it's getting so extreme that like there's just no way to keep propping it up anymore.
But that's what I mean. That's why they have to keep coming up with places to put money that isn't anywhere, because otherwise it would have to go back down. And that's like they have like a pathological need for that not to happen. And like the thing is, I think that can actually sustain for a while, because if they keep coming up with reasons to give each other money, then that's like more cash flow than like the whole planet can put together on their own. But it just doesn't make anything. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
Which
now I know this is triggering as a wear car, but like one of the ways that, even though I didn't really like this program, the Cash for Clunkers thing, was a way that not only gave money to the big automakers and a lot of industry that supplies them, and just stimulated the whole economy, it also put money into people's hands too, where it benefited everybody. Things like that, even though it was flawed, and that's not how I'm suggesting that we fix any of the problems today, is so much better than just, hey, let's just give money to Elon.
Yeah.
I would take that as a compromise, even though as flawed as it is, over any of what's being proposed right now.
Yeah. What do you think? I don't know. Like, I was really hardcore into the election was stolen last time. Now there's people coming up with saying the election was stolen this time. There's a lot of different theories and ideas out there. One of them was that, like, when the Code Ninjas were auditing the election, the voting machines post 2020, they were like essentially hacking them and putting in like cheating software. I saw people that are like working for Elon and stuff who like have on their resume like they built scripts that changed votes in voting machines. But the thing is, like, I mean, I know Dominion is like owned by conservatives, right? But like, wouldn't Dominion not want to have rigged voting machines? Like, is this something that they would be aware of or would cover up or would try to stop? Like, obviously companies, big corporations aren't going to do anything, but it's just like, I was just thinking I don't know. I definitely think it's possible. I mean, I don't know enough about tech stuff to understand this, but in like 2016 or whatever stuff I was reading is like the way these machines are coded, it wouldn't actually take that much effort to change the way a vote got recorded. You'd essentially just have to change a little bit of code here and there. And it's hard to change the code because of the way it's locked down. But if you could actually access it, and then you'd have to trust, the way everything's falling apart, like the safeguards that would be in place to like check machines to make sure they're not hacked, those don't exist anymore. So I don't have a lot of faith that they would be. But the thing about like all the Russiagate stuff is like, everyone is like, I get so fucking pissed. It's easy to like blame leftists and stuff, whatever. Because you get mad at the leftists and people are like, are you saying Democrats are good? And it's like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. But like when the Russiagate stuff was happening, people are like, you're just trying to come up with excuses for why Democrats shouldn't have listened to leftists and stuff. And it's like, well, sure. But like for me, I just think that's what's happening. So it's really just me saying something that I think is happening. As you could say like, oh, you're trying to make excuses or whatever. Maybe it is. But also, I do think it's happening. And no one would entertain that conversation. Everyone would say this is just an excuse they're trying to get. It's like the thing about elections are they're incredibly complicated, multi-part systems that use millions and millions of moving parts. Some of them are humans. Some of them are groups. Some of them are policies. There's a million billion different things. So the idea that like any one thing was the only thing that caused the outcome is already absurd. And leftists, like they would say the twin arguments of the only thing that did it was that they didn't listen to us. And also, so you're saying this is the only thing that did it? And it's like, I'm not saying either of those things. I'm saying like one of a billion fucking factors does seem to be this one. Anyway, but no one wanted to have that conversation. And then more and more news came out and, and all of the stuff hadn't even gotten released yet because I don't think like all of the info was like ever publicly released. A lot of it stayed classified, but like, it all was like, yeah, they fucking did. They fucking like fucked the election in a billion different ways. I don't know. It fucking pissed me off. So the idea that like it didn't happen this time is like whatever. And also just like even if it did happen, like we'd never find it out because Democrats are so fucking obsessed with not being like their opposition and playing fair and whatever. So they're like, well, it would be unsportsmanlike to refute the results. And it's like, well, if they fucking cheated, it's not unsportsmanlike to be all like, hey, you notice they cheated? That seems like something that happened, but that's like why it's such this perfect like offense for Republicans is say everyone's cheating. So then you feel less inclined to call out the other person's cheating when they've been cheating since the fucking beginning. They're always doing voter fraud. Like they're always saying like, oh, we need voter ID because of voter fraud. They're the ones fucking doing it, And so we can't say like, oh, we got to investigate like voter fraud because then it sounds like, this is a real problem. And it is a real problem. It's so fucked. Everything's so fucked. We're all going to die. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen because here's the thing. It's not going to be easy to survive 4 years of Trump. But if it is the case that they did rig the election machines, nothing's ever going to fucking matter again. You know, I like, I don't know what would happen because I do think there's an extent to which Trump is a singular factor in terms of just being an insane batshit person who just like has no shame and does whatever. A lot of people say that JD Vance will be worse. I don't even know if that's the case, just because at least he's like, I don't know. Trump is like a fucking Chuck E. Cheese animatronic that got hit by lightning and starts like shit, like spitting shit out of his face or something. Like he's not human. Like even an evil human to me is just fundamentally different than like what Trump is, which is more like a monster or animal than it is like a human who's governed by like reason, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like obviously Vance is like a fucking piece of shit, but I just like, a lot of people are like, I wouldn't take my chances. And it's not like I want either of these things to happen, but I just don't know that like other people could pull off the same shit Trump is doing by, means of it being fucking insane. Like, I don't know. Whatever, a lot of, but there's the stuff that Elon was talking about on like hot mics or whatever. I don't know. That could be about a million things. It obviously seems really suspicious, but it could just be nothing. But I don't fucking know. I think it's weird to hire people that, demonstrated that you can cheat elections, without any interest in following that up, because like, why would that come across your radar, unless that was a focus of yours? But I don't fucking know. There's a million fucking things that could happen. And one of them probably will. But that was Asperger detective one time he said on his show, he said, any number of things could have happened. And one of them probably did, which always sticks in my mind.
Yep, that's really wise.
Yeah, it's like all sorts of things can happen, and some things happen. It's like, wow, yes, I don't disagree. But man, I don't fucking know. This tariff stuff's crazy. I really hope he's been talking to. There have been murmurings of going after the VA. I really hope they go after the VA. Just kill the fucking VA. Like, I would love to see what happens next, because like I work at this place. A lot of people who work there, like, are former military veterans that are only working at this job because they don't need to work very many hours because their military, benefits pay for most of their salary. Which, hey, if you want to talk about government fucking freeloaders, there's like a huge outflow of money just going to people so they don't have to work. Hey, and I love government freeloaders. I love socialism. I love paying people. So I don't have a problem with that. But I would love to see, these people, these fucking Trump supporters, have to square the circle of like, oh, veterans are bad now. They don't deserve the money for serving their country. Or the veterans themselves being like, I'm okay with this. I am a waste of government spending. I'd love to see what happens there. Okay. That was a big rant. What's up, Kevin? Do you have anything to say? I know I've just been steamrolling you this whole time.
No, you're saying what I'm thinking here. Like the whole election process really just relies on the fact that, we have to believe that the people in charge of elections are going to give accurate results, even if they aren't the results they wanted.
Right.
And up until pretty recently in U.S. history, I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm sure there have been exceptions to that. But like, I think we could have trusted that, the election officials and the governors of most states to accurately report the results, even if they weren't the results they wanted. Yeah. I don't know that I feel that that's true anymore. And I don't think either side feels that that's true anymore.
Well, I think that it used to be the case that the way you used to cheat elections is by having people vote multiple times. And while that could swing elections and stuff, that is both so much more labor intensive and so much easier to track. It leaves a bigger paper trail. It's harder to do the conspiracy. So like that old school vote cheating it's just a lot more tenable of a situation than like the
Right.
way that elections are now and the way like voting. I mean, voting by mail is fine. It's the vote counting machines and the voting machines that really seem to be the issue. Although voting by mail, presents that people can just destroy large amounts of ballots at like mailing centers and stuff.
Right. And also, just at the end of the day, too, we're trusting that the people in charge are accurately reporting what the voting machines are telling them. We're not witnessing this ourselves. We don't see what the computers are saying the results are. We're trusting that they're giving the correct results. We don't know that that's true,
Right.
And I don't know how to fix that problem. There are all kinds of complicated schemes where like you have this serial number that you can check to make sure your vote counted and stuff like this that some countries use, but it's so complicated that I don't think most people are going to trust that that's accurate.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fix is here.
There is no fix. We're all fucked. It's all over. Game over, man. No, I don't know. It's just the thing is, it sucks to not be able to find out, because if you think their elections are rigged, it's going to have a chilling effect on voting in general. And that's bad because that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then they don't even have to cheat next time. But I mean, maybe they will anyway. But it's like that to me. And I mean, I've said it for a while, but since fucking 2016. But like, the thing is, if 2016 was the beginning of the end, the first domino, it still takes a long time to actually hit the end, Like in 2016, and I think I said something like that back then, like even if we won in 2020, which we did, that doesn't mean we aren't still on the end path to destruction. It just means the path to destruction also involves this stage. And it also involves this stage that we're in now, and like the question is what's going to happen next time? Because like in a fair contest, there's no way. And I mean, obviously some big events can happen, but everyone's so pissed. A lot of Trump supporters feel like they've been duped. Oh man, yeah. There's this guy, this fucking idiot. I didn't argue with him because we're not supposed to argue at work. But he is saying, this was before the election. He was like, I hope when Trump wins, he makes it so taxes on there's no tax on overtime. Just came out that they're taxing overtime still. So I want to see that guy again and be like, hey, it turns out they're still taxing overtime. How do you feel about that? But it doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. It all fucking sucks. Kevin.
Yeah.
I had an encounter with Intuit QuickBooks. And this is maybe more of, I don't know how good I can remember the story now. It's maybe more of an Arby's moment. But there was a guy who's trying to pay me with Intuit QuickBooks, and he asked for my email. I sent him my email.
This is AI Spencer. Real Spencer accidentally said his email address here. Pretend this never happened. Beep, beep.
Oh, I shouldn't say that. Can you cut that out of the episode?
Yes.
Hey, sorry, guy. I mean, feel free to email me if you hear this live. I mean, don't. Please be cool. But that's my email address. Anyway, I mean, we have good listeners, right? And the live viewers, there's less of them every day. You're hearing it more and more. Kevin's always telling me how few listeners there are. But anyway, I gave him my email address, which was, and so he sends me a form for Intuit QuickBooks that's like, that's supposed to, let me log in, fill out stuff, and then I get sent like a W-9 or whatever. I don't know. And so I get sent the invitation. I click it. It wants me to log in. I log in and it says, hey, your email doesn't match the email of the invitation. The one that was sent to you has a capital letter in it in the email, but your email doesn't have a capital letter. It's all lowercase. And so I say to the website, what the fuck are you talking about? Email addresses are not case sensitive. That doesn't exist. It would be one thing if it was a username, because a username might be the same as an email address, but it actually is case sensitive for whatever reason. But it's not saying that. It's saying the email address you used to sign up for this account is different. And it's like, first of all, if it was different, I wouldn't have got the email. The email fucking got sent to me because it's the same email address, because it's the right email address. But so and then it said like, oh, it's different. Do you want to log in anyway? And I was like, well, yeah, log in anyway. And so I log in and I'm just taken to like a home screen and I'm like, okay, so did it work? Because I thought I had to fill out information and it's not giving me a prompt to fill out information. So I try to do it like a million times. And every time I do it, it like creates a new option for no company name. So now I have like 7 no company name options. And it's like, which no company name do you want to pick? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. So I click the support thing, and of course it's one of these ChatGPT shits. And they're like, "What can I help you with?" And I'm like, "Let me talk to a person." And they're like, "Okay, what do you need help with?" And I'm like, "Login stuff. I can't log in right or whatever." And I don't know. And so they send me to a person, a customer service person, and I explain the problem, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird." And then I was like, yeah, what's the deal? And she was like, okay, so can you go to the top and can you click on this and tell me what it says here? And it was like Intuit QuickBooks or something, because they have a whole bunch of things under the same website heading. Like there's businesses and small businesses and taxes or whatever. And so I'd say whatever it is, like customer, or like it's like the free version or something. And so I say that, and then she's like, oh, well, I can't help you with this. I'm going to have to transfer you to this other thing. And I was like, it's a different company. They handle the customer service for that. I only handle the customer service for this sort of thing. And I was like, but this is the person they sent me to. You're not helping. Like, they send me to a person that doesn't help. They only help other people. And she's like, yeah, it happens all the time. And I was like, it happens all the time because a random fucking ChatGPT is just routing things randomly. It doesn't know what the fuck it's doing because it's not a person. It's just a robot. And she's like, yeah, that's technology or whatever. I mean, she says something probably just more awkward and, not happy with the fact that I'm pissed. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, well, no problem. Transfer me. And she's like, yeah, okay. I have to, receive authorization from my supervisor to transfer you. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I can't just transfer you. I have to receive an authorization to transfer you. Don't worry. It should only take about 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm through the looking glass now. I'm in hell. Like, nothing is surprising to me anymore. Let's wait for that. And so we wait. It's been about 7 minutes or so. And she's like, okay, my supervisor approved the transfer request. So I'm going to be transferring you now. It'll take about 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, waiting for 5 minutes. It's like, I've connected the call, but now I have to brief the other person on the situation before I can connect you. And I'm like, oh, that can't be good. It can't be helpful. And also, I would bet anything that I will have to tell her everything that I told you, as if you never talked to this person in your life about anything ever. But 5 more minutes goes by. Okay, I'm transferring you now. I get transferred. The person, she needs all my information. She's like, so what can I help you with? And she says, like, it says here you're having login problems. I'm like, well, no, I can log in. I got sent an invoice, like an invoice or whatever. I can't believe I gave my email address out. Whatever. You already can email me. That happens pod@gmail.com. Like, come on. We do this in good faith. We're on the same team here. And if we're not, I could be bought. I could be convinced.
Okay,
Feel free
just
to win
say
me
some
over.
random words right now, and when I go back and edit this, I'm going to replace your email address with the random words.
Okay. horticulture, flying V, curling iron, curling the Olympic sport, bobsled team, etymology, entomology, pentomology, the study of five. Okay, so like the problem isn't that I can't log in. The problem is it's not accepting this thing because it says my email is different, even though it's the same. It just has a capital letter. And the other thing is, I don't know if it works because it just sends me to this other page. It doesn't tell me that it didn't work. It says I can log in anyway, and I log in anyway, and it's unclear if that worked or not. And so this person cleared up to me that it didn't work. And she was like, well, you know, all you have to do is get the person to send you an email, an invoice to the right email. And I was like, well, hold on a second. They did. They sent it to the right email address. Emails are not case sensitive. This problem is not a problem with the person sending the email. They sent it right, and your system is fucked up, and it's not accepting it because it's broken, because it doesn't function properly. And she was like, well, no, it's functioning properly. It's just they sent the wrong email. And I was like, well, no, they sent the right email. It went to my email because it was the right one. That it wouldn't have gone to my email if it wasn't the right email. The problem is that your text parser demands a match of case when it doesn't need that, when emails don't function using that technology, because the site was coded poorly. The website was coded poorly and is throwing an exception that it shouldn't be throwing because it's stupid, and that's broken. That's not working properly. And she was like, well, there's nothing I can do about that. And I was like, oh, lady, I understand. I don't think that you're qualified or authorized to go into the code of this website and reprogram it so it functions properly. I don't think that's your job. But the case remains that it's fucked up and should be fixed. Is there someone else I could talk to about that? And she's like, well, there's actually no need to talk to anyone about that because it's not actually a problem. And like, until this moment, we were technically, it was an uneasy truce, but we were technically on the same side. And until this moment when she said it's actually not a problem, like I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I was mostly polite. I was getting sometimes a little bit flat, which I do when I'm not happy. I'm like, okay, so what you're saying, you know, just kind of like not happy, but not rude per se. And sometimes pleasant, sometimes friendly and pleasant. You know, I'm not being a problem, because I just wanted help. But at this point, I'm turning on this lady. I was like, well, no, it's a problem. The way the website has been programmed is not right. It's broken. It doesn't accept capital letters when lowercase or capital letters don't matter. It's not done correctly. It was built improperly. And she's like, well, there's nothing improper about the way it was doing. They just have to send you another invoice. And I'm like, look, I understand what you're telling me, that I can get my money if I get the person to send me another invoice. I understood that like 3 minutes ago. That was like one of the first things you said. It made perfect sense. But what I'm telling you is that that's the case because the website is not working right. It was created flawed. And I'd love to talk to someone who can like write this down and send it to like the team who oversees the maintenance of the website, because this is a problem that could be fixed in a functional society. And she's like, but it's not actually a problem. It's just like, it's how the website works. And I'm like, how the website works is a problem. Like, your company didn't discover a website and decide to build a business around the fucking website that they discovered on the internet like it was some sort of rare stone or tree. People made a decision to build a website. Do you understand what coding is or programming? A team of programmers built this website using decisions and programming language. And in that process, they built this system so that it throws an exception. It doesn't work when you do not capital letters for an email address, aside from the fact that an email address is not case sensitive. That's an error. It's creating an issue. It's breaking. It's broken. It's not working right. It's not working. It needs to be fixed. And she's like, and she's like, well, there's nothing I can do. So like, she said something like, well, there's nothing more that can happen with this discussion. I'm like, again, I understand that you can't fix anything. That's not what I'm trying to have happen. Can I like talk to your supervisor or something? Like, can you transfer me to a different department, like one that's more like, like technical, that's like dealing with the actual website itself and not just like, login issues and like how the thing works. And then she again like is like, well, there's not actually a problem. And I go back like, again, do you not understand what programming is? This is a programming error. This is a break in the programming. It was built incorrectly. I'm not blaming you. I don't think you built the website, but people built the website, and there's people that are currently being paid to fix it and to make sure it works. Has the website ever gone down? Do the servers ever go down? There are people who handle that, and that's not you, and I don't think that's you. And she's like, look, the only thing, like, it'll be fine as long as you get the person to send you another invoice. And I'm like, again, I understand that. It's a very simple concept. We went over that. I understood that the first time you said it. It makes perfect sense. It's very understandable. It's a simple concept. Oh man, I must be blowing out the mics. Huh? I maybe not. This thing's supposed to be good at, but she and I was like, look, let me talk to your supervisor. And she's like, okay, just hold on 1 second. But I think we can consider this issue resolved. And I was like, this issue is not resolved. It's a broken website. And she's like, okay, hold on. And she puts me on hold for an amount of time that feels like appeasement. Feels like I'm just going to put this person on hold, wait about 2 minutes, and then come back. And she was like, okay, so actually, the supervisor is busy helping people with their taxes because it's a busy tax season, but I can take your call and tell them to call you back tomorrow. And I'm like, they're not going to fucking call me back tomorrow. And she's like, they should be calling you between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Just like, great. Okay, great. And I was like, that's great. I really appreciate your help. And she was like, she's like, after this call, you'll get a survey asking how satisfied you were and how, whether or not we were able to resolve your problem. And I trust that we did. And I was like, no, we didn't. This isn't resolved. And yeah. And so the thing is, like, while I was on hold, I got that email because I was just looking at my email the whole time. And I saw the survey, and so I started giving her a really bad review on the survey, which all of this stuff is bad. Don't get me wrong. I was having a bad day. Everything was bad. But whatever. They'll get over it.
Well, did you end up getting paid?
No. I did end up telling the person to send me a new invoice. I did send it. They did send it. I did log in successfully. I filled out the information I was supposed to fill out. I believe the ball's in their court now. They haven't got around to it or whatever. I assume it's fine. This is like, I don't know if I'm autistic or whatever, but this is like absolutely like the kind of autism in me. But it's like, again, I don't think anything can happen except someone who is authorized can write this down. Email address should be non-case sensitive and send that to the fucking head programmer of the web development team. And then they can forget about it and ignore it. Like, right. I don't think it's going to get fixed. I just want someone to be all like, hey, like, you exist. This is a real thing that happened. I work at a company full of human beings that make decisions that aren't fucking robots, that aren't fucking drones that are locked in boxes all day. I want a company to do its stated function. Which is too much to ask these days. But I was just thinking that this reminds me of when I had that job. There's this job I had last year or whatever. I had a breakdown and I stopped. I called sick for the rest of my contract, and then they never called me back. I assume it's because they thought I was quitting, but I figured I would come back for the next contract or whatever. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine to not have that job. That job was killing my body and soul. But one of the things that led up, I was having a worse and worse time as time went on at that job. But one of the things that really was the straw that broke my back was there was this guy who was serving like multiple roles at the company, and I had to cover for his like grocery buying duties, which I think I did a bad job at, but whatever. So while I was doing that, I had to deliver equipment, and a guy who I was delivering equipment to, he said like, oh, these people were supposed to pick this up from me and they never did. And I contacted them and they didn't get back to me. And I don't know who else to contact about this, but can we figure that out? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then I started like asking around at the company, like, hey, how can we get this guy's equipment back from him? Because he had this equipment. It was supposed to be picked up. It didn't get picked up. He's contacted people who are in charge of like equipment control, and they haven't responded or done anything about it. What can we do about it? And like asking that question was like unlocking some sort of like Pandora's box of bullshit, where like everyone started getting like really upset about that as a problem. And then I was talking to the guy came back, and I was like asking him about it. And he's like, oh, well, don't worry about that. And I'm like, well, the guy whose equipment it is, he's kind of worried about it. He contacted people and no one helped him. And now there's this equipment that's floating around that's not being like tracked properly, that's not going to be picked up, that needs to be picked up, and no one's helping. No one's doing anything about it. So like, who am I supposed to talk to? And he's like, well, you're not supposed to talk to anyone about that. It's their stuff. And I'm like, sure, it's their stuff, but this seems like a ball that's been dropped, something that's fallen through the cracks. So like in a perfect world, who would someone contact about that? And like, he's like, maybe I'm not explaining this properly. And I was like, well, I don't think it's that you're explaining it improperly. I think it's that your idea of solving the problem is not solving the problem. And presumably problems get solved at this company and people solve them. So if there's a problem like this, what would someone do to solve it? And he's like, look, don't worry about this anymore. I'll take care of it from here. And I'm like, that's fine. But what is supposed to happen? Like, and he got madder and madder at me. And I was like, sometimes I get really mad, but sometimes when I'm getting really mad, I just start to like giggle and laugh because like, I can't believe what the fuck is happening. And like, I was starting to like laugh at every time he would like reset. And this was making him like even more mad. And he was like, look, man, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what, and I was like, just tell me, like, if this happened to you, what would you do? Because like, why are you, is this a secret? Are you not allowed to tell me what's supposed to happen? I don't understand. This is a very simple concept to me. Equipment didn't get picked up. The person isn't contacting them about picking it up. Who picks it up? How does it get, who do I need to email? And it was just the same kind of thing where they're just like, it's like this does not compute situation. And I'm like, what the fuck doesn't compute about this? This is simple shit. Like, is this why every company doesn't fucking work? That company felt like it was run by fucking shit, by the way. But it's like, no wonder nothing fucking works in this company, because if you ask, how do I accomplish a basic task? People go like, oh, well, you don't. It's like, what do you mean you don't? Everybody, this is a big part of what's happening is equipment is coming, it's going, it's getting tracked, it's getting signed out, it's getting signed back in. You're telling me that in this one instance that simply doesn't happen anymore? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why can no one answer this basic ass question? Which, I don't know, for the Intuit QuickBooks, I kind of get, because, this is probably some phone farm in like another country or something, and they have no line of contact to like anybody, but presumably they'd have a line of contact to the supervisor, or even just have like an email that I could like email, like say like, hey, you have this bug in the system. Like, is there an email address for like like bug reports or something, but like whatever, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm so, and this is why the world's falling apart, is because no one knows how to like, I come from a world where like, if there's a problem, like someone can like talk about the problem, and someone can be like, oh, that's a problem. Or someone could be like, oh, that's a problem, but we're not interested in solving it. Not be like, wait, what? What do you mean? There's a problem. There's like a problem couldn't exist. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You must be fucking up. And it's like, no, I'm not fucking up. I'm noticing something, and I'm being treated like a dipshit for paying attention. But I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate living. I hate Trump. I hate all this stuff. I hate Elon Musk. I hate red, white, and blue land.
Similar, not nearly a satisfying issue. So for Valentine's Day, I ordered Ariel these kind of like, this is a viral thing of like these chocolate covered strawberries that are metallic and rainbow colored and all this, and ordered from this company to be delivered on Valentine's Day on Friday. And Friday, it was really snowing here, and my house is really confusing if you've never been here before. You pull up into the driveway, and you see just garage doors, and it's completely symmetrical. You have no idea whether you should go left or right to get to the front door of the house, because like from when you pull up, you can't see anything but garage. So everybody who comes to the house gets very confused, and it's 50-50 whether people end up in our backyard or end up going to the front door. And it was snowing really, really heavily, and you couldn't even see where there was a sidewalk or anything. So like, I saw the guy on the security camera before I could get down there and help him, like try one way, not be able to like get to, like, he's like stomping through snow, trying to figure out how to get to the door, and then goes to the other side, tries the same thing, and then ends up just giving up and leaving, which I don't blame him for in the slightest.
Sure.
But 5 minutes later, I get the email confirmation that it was delivered. And I'm like, well, I'm sure he'll just come back in the morning or something. It's not a big deal. And nobody comes the next day. So on Saturday, I click the little chat thing on their website, and it takes me to this AI thing. And I'm thinking, great, this is going to be a huge hassle. And I'm like, hey, it said the order was delivered, but we didn't get it. And I explained the whole thing about the snow and everything. And it's like, hey, good news. We don't even need to bother an agent for this. We'll just have the order reshipped to you right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was surprisingly simple. Maybe this AI thing is not so bad. And then a couple hours later, the driver calls me going, hey, I'm so sorry. My phone battery was dead because I was using it as a flashlight all night, trying to find people's doors and houses and everything, delivering stuff until midnight. I would have called you, but I couldn't. I just want you to know I'm on my way right now to bring you your order. And I was like, oh, well, because I already contacted the company. And he's like, oh, hey, I know this is my fault. I screwed up. It's, I don't mean to ask you, but is there any way you can contact them and tell them you did receive it? Because otherwise I get penalized for this, and I'm afraid I'm going to get fired. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I totally understand. Because then 10 minutes later, he was at the house, dropped the order off. So I go back, I click the AI thing and go, hey, that order that I said wasn't delivered, actually it was blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey, good news. You don't need to talk to an agent. We've marked that as not delivered. We're going to send you another order. So it flagged the second one.
Jesus.
And then like an hour later, the driver calls me back. He's like, dude, what's going on? My boss just called saying you said you didn't get it. I just handed it to you. And I'm like, no, I told the thing. And there's no way of actually talking to a person at this company. Nothing I tried when clicking chat would let me actually end up talking to a person. I tried all sorts of things like agent, support, whatever. So I don't know if this guy got fired over this. I don't know what's going on. There was just, I don't know what to do now.
You should call him back and tell him to give you his boss's phone number. But I think social media really paved the way for this, but it's a really insidious thing that society has done, where they've taken away the ability to talk to the company's representatives themselves, which I definitely understand, like the man hours required, but there needs to be like a form you can send that's going to get seen by a real person, because like once you stop like having that outlet to talk to the company itself, it just makes them completely unaccountable to anybody, because suddenly they don't actually have to think of you as like a real person. You're just data and like transactions and something, and not like a person that your company is forming a relationship with, and like then it just all falls apart. Like there's no semblance of accountability. There's just like the mandates of the company and stuff. It just like it's like it kind of takes out the society of the society that we live in. But the social contract's been killed in a lot of ways at this point, huh?
It definitely has. You're right. There needs to be like some way of like, once you've passed this bar of showing that you're not wasting their time, being able to actually talk to a person. And it's so frustrating when you can't do that.
Yeah. And again, it just needs to be like an email or something. It doesn't need to be like a phone call or something necessarily. But yeah,
exactly.
It needs to get there. But yeah, I don't know. I got an email. Mike writes a lot of nice things. Sorry, Mike.
I like Mike.
Yeah. Make me like Mike. Remember?
Yes.
But he likes the podcast. He likes Harmontown. He likes the podcast. He likes the anime podcast. He wants to know if there's any magic cards that inspired me. There's gotta be, but I can't think of anyone. Sorry. I'm so bad at like thinking about specific like magic cards in a lot of ways. I think a lot of the elemental monsters in Magic inspired me for like D&D card design or D&D monster designs. Like the Ember Mauler was based on a card called Ember Hauler, and also based on a lot of like fire cat elementals. Yeah. Joshua writes, I don't know. This is such a... we need to like format the podcast better. Whatever. I'm a longtime listener and just heard your plea for emails on the most recent episode. I've got a few questions for you. Dan had directed everyone to watch Roadhouse before the next episode, but did you ever watch it? I did not watch it. More generally, I want to ask your opinions on the actor Patrick Swayze. Couldn't tell you anything about Patrick Swayze. I might have seen him in other movies. I couldn't tell you if I have. I hear you read these kind of emails on air. I imagine you get quite a few of them. Would you consider guesting on my podcast, Crazy for Swayze? I guess I would do that. Yeah. We've watched all of his catalog at this point. We should get Kevin on Crazy for Swayze, huh? You want to watch a Swayze movie?
I would love to. I'm trying to think of which Swayze, like Ghost is probably the one that's coming to mind.
Yeah, that was the only movie with him in it that I could even think of. And then I was like, is that even him? But yeah, I guess email me. I gave you my email address in this episode. Jack writes, love the show. Been listening through the start, but it feels like you've hit your stride. I like there's a variety of different content. Anime guests, beverages, emails, good old-fashioned ranting, chatting. What anime were you thinking about watching next? I kind of want to keep it a secret. I don't know. I do have the next anime in mind. It's an old anime. It was on Adult Swim. I'm pretty sure it was on Adult Swim at some point. But yeah, that's about it. I already recorded the opening song to it, or the anime binge opening to it. Kevin, I was trying to get it so it wasn't like having visual bugs, and you told me to use software encoding, and it still has that. Do you think if I sent it to you, you would be able to get it better? Like you'd be able to encode it better? I have like the full size, file, but I want to actually compress it, because when we play really big file sizes on this, it chunks hard style,
Yeah, send it to me, and well, I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon would be good. I think Delicious in Dungeon could be the kind of thing where we just like talk about between stuff. We got to figure it out. Like the thing, we're so spread thin, that like I think that's a problem. Like we don't do anime all the time. I think if we did anime full time, it would make more sense to take breaks and talk about other anime, or to like be all like, and also we're watching one episode of this show and let's just talk about it briefly, like a show that we couldn't talk about very much. But like right now, it feels like we're watering it down a lot. But Delicious in Dungeon would be interesting to check out. You got to check that out, Kevin. We did that in an episode that you weren't in. So
I've heard of that one. That sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah, I just like a lot of the fantasy D&D inspired or video game inspired stuff, just because like they have this very like video gamey take on the tropes that I think is like really fun. You'd never see those in like a Western show, but it ends up working pretty well. There's a lot of anime that do that are good or bad. All right. Michael writes, "Hello, Spencer and Kevin. I have burning questions for you, Spencer. All the best. Mischievous Michael." So Mischievous Michael himself has emailed us. Is that interesting?
I feel honored.
Yeah. I love a mischievous Michael. Listening to the Tom writes, listening to the episode, Tom F, I should say. I heard the request for questions. By the way, send us emails, thathappenspod@gmail.com. We definitely need more, or we don't, whatever. Who cares? I figured this would be a good time to drag you back to D&D. I'm DMing a campaign for my 13-year-old and several of his friends. The sessions are 10% role-playing and 90% riffing about Skibbity Riz. I'm worried we might not finish by the time they graduate. Any tips for getting the party back on track that don't make me seem like a middle school teacher? I don't know. I've been reading this book called... What is it called? The Dungeon Master's Guide to Proactive Role-Playing, I think. I think I talked about it last time. Now that I'm getting further into it, I'm starting to see some of the flaws in it, which the flaws are kind of like, they're just spinning things as like, oh, think about how you can make this about a goal a character has. So like wilderness is a great way for encounters to happen. Think about how wilderness can involve the goals. And it's like, you're just saying that. You're like, oh, how can a combat involve a goal? Here's an example. The combat is about, they try to get an artifact. So the goal is they try to get an artifact. So what if the conflict is these guys don't want you to get the artifact? And it's like, yeah, I get it, but like it's like it feels like they're inventing examples that work really well for their idea, but it's like, yeah, but what if my ideas don't fit that cleanly into the things? But it's still a really good book. The idea is you build your stuff around the stuff that they're drawn to, and then they feel more invested. With kids, you can also do collaborative world building with them. And both of those things can create investment. I think, obviously they're just kids, and getting sidetracked is going to happen. But that sort of thing, to me, is indicative of the idea that they're not feeling invested in what's happening. And if they're not feeling invested, that's because they don't feel like it applies to them very much. It's like, oh, my dad is doing something and we're trying to do our own thing. But if what you're doing is their own thing, then they'll feel more of a pull to do that thing, if that makes sense. So again, if they're collaborating on the world building and you're like drawing the map together and some kid's like, oh, this is the fucking ice cream mountain and there's an ice cream dragon that guards it. And then, you're playing and then the ice cream dragon shows up and he's like, holy shit, you guys, my ice cream mountain's fucking melting, and then they'll be like, holy shit, that's my ice cream dragon. I came up with that. I think that kind of investment might help get them more on track. I think if they're not doing the thing, not to be like rude or as a negative on what you're doing, but I think that can indicate there's a little bit of boredom happening. And boredom is usually an emotion that comes from not feeling connected, feeling frustrated about the direction something is going and wanting it to be more in your lane. So I think trying to synthesize their end and your end more is the solution there. Although a huge part of that is just kids being kids, not having attention spans, be on phone, etc. You know, maybe try and film some freaking TikToks. But yeah, general, you know, I hope that helps. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think you just have a tough task, and you know, it's hard to diagnose. You have any ideas, Kevin?
No, I think it's hard to have generic advice to a problem like that. You know, it's like, you know, how do I write a story my kids are going to like? There is no one answer to that. You have to tailor it to what's not pulling them into what you're doing so far.
Yeah, sometimes younger kids, maybe not 13, but sometimes younger kids will like make up their own stuff, and you be like, "Oh, there's a knight and he comes your way." And then the kid will be like, and then the knight gets taken away by a giant bird and the bird shits on the ground or something. And I think there's an instinct as a D&D player who's a DM to be like, now, that's not what happens. But I think leaning into that and being like, yeah. And then the fucking shit comes to life and the shit looks like a knight, you know, like can kind of get them more. But the problem is, you know, where does it end? But, you know, you really got to try stuff, I guess. I don't know. Temper your expectations. Okay, folks, the show's over. If anyone's hiring, let me know. I know no one's hiring. I know the world is ending. I know the people in charge of hiring at companies are some of the most incompetent fucking people on the planet. And that's a problem that's never going to fix itself until the world explodes. Rise up, you know, if human shields, don't worry about human shields. You know, some people are going to use human shields. That's their problem. Don't make that your problem. You know what I'm saying? All right. That's the way we're ending the episode. That's the same way we end the episode every week, apparently. Goodbye. Kevin, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.